Hi guys, I'm Chris Geary. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BSD Education, and I'm also a director of the Young Founders School. Welcome to this mid-season kind of get-together, for us to give you a bit of an update about what some of the goings on of our virtual internship program. It's been amazing, an amazing journey this year, really. We've got over 100 companies participating, over 140 students who'll be doing internships throughout the spring to summer period. So we decided that today we'd all get together and give you a little bit of an update as to what's been going on so far. When we thought about this program originally, we knew that so much of this understanding about where young people are going to take themselves in the future stems from actually having real experience. But the thing is, most of that experience that's available is only available at university. When you look at Hong Kong, only about 40% of students go to university. So 60% of students traditionally haven't even had this opportunity to try out what the future might look for them. If we don't give them that opportunity to try things out, how are they ever going to know what's right for them? And also, how do companies even know that the talents of these young people exist? How do we develop professional networks for young people, and the majority that may never go to university? When we were planning this program, we had to really think about as well, how do we make this mutually rewarding? How is it something that can be beneficial to the host company, as well as a manageable undertaking for everyone? So anyway, this is our mid-season check-in. Let's not wait any further. Let's have a look first at a bit of a compilation we put together for you at some of the reactions and reflections that we've had from our hosts and our interns so far. So let's take it away.
I'm a little bit stunned, and I'm also just very happy that I don't have to compete with Vanessa, the likes of you, because I think I would get buried under your performance and capabilities.
And you have an understanding overall how to run a successful marketing campaign. We will definitely use all your ideas. Even if you're interested in implementing them, let me know. We are recruiting more interns this summer.
坦白講，我冇諗過嗰個成果係咁好嘅。你俾到我嘅感覺係你由花時間去研究嗰樣嘢，因為
But it's really, really good to see that you've actually kind of reflected on this experience and taken it as a good learning. So it's also very important you learn the skills, but also you know what you like to do and what you don't like to do.
I mean, overall, I'm very satisfied and happy with Jodie, and I think she's very proactive and able to really take in a lot of information. So I think she's really good on that. And compared to myself back in year 10 or 11, I don't think I would write an article with this like good structure and all that. So I think it's very reasonable quality and very high quality for her standards. Yeah. So this is really good.
咁但係其實我見到而家嘅世代都一路轉緊啦。咁譬如話由以前嘅未有互聯網啊，到而家有嘅互聯網啊，到而家更加去咗 TikTok 啊、Metaverse、NFT 啊咁各方面嘅，咁我覺得年青人係可能會比我哋更加快去接觸。咁但係我哋可以帶俾年青人嘅就係咩咧？就係話我哋嘅工作經驗啦，或者係話將佢哋初時散收嘅嘢，然後跟住點樣去 present 到出嚟嘅。咁我覺得呢個 internship 係做到嘅。
So my task is to find 180 potential partners that work with some women-led startups. 咁我希望可以建立到一個 Web3 嘅社區，發展一個 NFT 嘅世界。我哋要多啲留意同埋認清虛擬貨幣市場啦。
So like what I've said, as Hong Kong rents are the highest in the world, rental reimbursement is where the employer reimburses the rent paid by an employee.
Sure. So essentially, my projects were more based on the information side instead of the publicity side.
The online tuition market will continue to grow for many years to come, it is sure. before. And the pandemic now actually accelerated the growth of the tuition market.
我認為就喺 Minecraft 或者 VR 嘅世界入邊嘅一個戲棚，然之後再用入邊角色嘅外觀套用翻一啲粵劇嘅服裝。
I need to search company they are planning to build or they launch a metaverse platform from mainland China and HK. And I'm going to list out all the companies and introduce their platform, what they're doing.
I think this internship is very beneficial to my personal life. I've explored the aspect and I've also understood the workflow process of a marketing job.
I want to do something finance. This internship program is related about finance. I think I will just keep going in doing finance in my future.
I think I may join some companies that are building metaverse later because I think it is quite interesting.
It's lots of fun and also increase my interest in business. 學到點樣去 handle 翻唔同嘅 task 啦，兩個 task 同時進行嘅時候，就要分清楚，可能我兩邊用嘅語氣都係唔同嘅，去令到自己個 task 係更加合意同埋完美咁樣子。
呢個實習計劃最大嘅感受就係我攞咗好多好實用嘅工作經驗啦，亦都可以去建立我自己嘅性格啦，令到我變得更加大膽啦，更加 creative 啦。最主要亦都擴闊咗自己視野啦，無論係對 Web3 對 NFT 亦都係對自己嘅未來都好有幫助啦。
咁喺呢次嘅呢個實習中咧，我就學識咗就係關於一個時間嘅分佈同埋安排，即係無論係個視頻1分鐘定2分鐘都好，咁我都要喺正確嘅時間入邊去宣傳我需要表達嘅重點。
After this internship, I really realized that I need some variations in my life, and I think physiotherapist may suit my needs.
And especially the information and knowledge I gained in this internship was outside of the textbook knowledge we get in school. And I think it's helpful for me to actually have a first-hand experience in researching and actually organizing the information, which the company would actually use in their future projects as well. So I'm very excited about that.
Wow, I just hope you all enjoyed that mix video and just some of the comments coming out of it as much as I did. You know, I'm so delighted, but I have to say I'm not really surprised that our interns have been outperforming the expectations of so many of our companies. You know, I've heard from Teresa, who manages all of the project and supports all of our host companies through their experience, that many of our interns are actually getting offers to continue further internships and experiences with them. So, you know, and that's really what I call the start of a professional network for these young people. And I think, isn't it great that we're seeing in the student reflections, not just talk about maybe, oh, I learned something new that's technical, but actually they're personally reflecting, you know, that they're maybe reassessing the preconceptions that they had about themselves. They're thinking about maybe greater aspirations for themselves than they ever had before. Or maybe they're reflecting that, wow, I didn't realize that there were just so many opportunities out there for me. And so, you know, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about empowering young people. It's become a bit of a trend to talk about that in recent times. But truly empowering a young person, it's not about pumping more technical knowledge into their heads. It's not about academic learning. What it really is about is giving them those hands-on experiences and access to those opportunities that make them understand that they can make really powerful decisions for themselves. Yeah, we need to let young people make their own decisions. That's how we truly empower them in the future. So anyway, now without further ado, we're now going to hear from a few of the representatives from our host companies in a bit more detail. Of course, I just want to thank every single host company that's been with us so far and is coming for the rest of the year. for everything that they're doing to partner with us on this program and support young people for their futures. So yeah, without further ado, let's move into our next segment and hear from some of the hosts from our representative companies in more detail about their experiences.
My name is Mushir. I'm the founder and managing director of FinStep Asia. FinStep Asia is a venture builder that is focused on the fintech and the blockchain world. We work with governments, we work with policymakers, regulators, fintech startups, and corporates who are looking at innovation in financial services across Asia, both those who are in Asia as well as those who are coming into Asia. Now, I have been a mentor with YFS for quite a few years, almost since inception, when Billy, Chris, and others brought me in to speak to the students and look at young individuals who are building up their entrepreneurship journey. In the latest project that we had two very good students, Iris and Edward, who were onboarded with us last month to do a project around the metaverse. Now, we were very keen and we are looking at doing an in-depth research report focused on the metaverse, which is essentially a world which is being driven by blockchain and Web3, as we call it, as the Industry 4.0. And we wanted to engage Iris and Edward to understand what is happening in the Asian landscape. We wanted one student who could look at a mainland Chinese and Hong Kong market, who's a Chinese native who can speak Chinese and read Chinese and do some research which is published in mainland China. And secondly, a person who could look at the APAC market. The scope was to work over 2 weeks and look at companies that are building on the metaverse, companies that are building a metaverse, and what are the applications around that being discussed in the region. As I mentioned, Edward was looking at mainland China, while Iris was looking at the APAC region as a broader market, right? One of the main drivers for me to support this was to enable the students to understand how these markets are evolving by going in down the rabbit hole, as we say, but maybe just starting to dig down this process and know what is changing. This is less about speculative markets and more about understanding how the industry is being transformed. And I think that was one of the key criteria for bringing them on board. I strongly believe that having an exposure from a young age is very important for entrepreneurs. That exposure allowed me to be more risk-taking, being able to explore and experiment as a student. You do have that bandwidth to try new things, to see what may interest you. There may be a variety of different things that interest you. You have a focused exploration, as we could call it, and helps build your skill sets and understanding of different verticals and different industries. I did find both the students very engaging, very curious, very interested in understanding. So we got them to speak to our other intern, Lewis, as well, to understand how the internship process is and to get them to, on a path as they grow towards going into university, where internships become important, and find a pathway to working and building a career. I was very pleasantly surprised with their interest and understanding of the space. They were able to search and do a lot of following in terms of what instructions we gave them for the task. They did a lot of work on their own, very intelligent questions on both how to approach the research as well as questions around the primary research and content that they provided us. So I was quite happy with that. It was also good to see their attitude in terms of being on time, being able to set up meetings, being able to submit the content on time. Now, the project was built in a way that after doing the research, so we asked them to build this out and collect it as a database on the Excel sheet. Secondly, was to write a small summary report, which was quite well done in terms of them summarizing the different elements of what's happening in the metaverse. The presentations were good. They were strong in terms of representing the research they were requested to do, and very helpful for us to now use that as we build our research further. Working with the young generation always gives me new perspective, and you have a different approach. They have a new way of looking at things. And that's very important for us as a company, as we are servicing clients who look at a broad spectrum, to look at Gen Z, millennials, but the Gen Zs as it were for high school students, in terms of their attitudes, their behaviors. That gives us insight on how our clients can also approach them. It also helps us understand how we can approach our hiring, our internship, and our training programs and our onboarding, right? Because we can get a sense of how they approach things, what would be the best way to present content to them or training material to them, and how we can build up their skill sets, right, and upskill them in the future. Happy with the interns who have worked with us. I had a couple of, 2 or 3 of them have worked with me over multiple years supporting different projects. I had somebody else who worked with us last year reaching out to support us again this year because of their interest. So very happy to continue this, and I'm looking forward to also engaging with the formal program for a summer internship and bringing in a couple of students to look at the similar Web3 fintech blockchain ecosystem. We are all building things, right? Especially startups where you are growing, you're bringing newer people, newer experiences to the world, even if you're a consulting advisory firm, as we are venture builders. And it's important to engage young people because you want them to come in with fresh ideas, but you're also building your talent pipeline, right? You're trying to bring more people into transitioning from what would be the industry 3.0 to industry 4.0, and what better than digital natives who can, who fit in quite faster in terms of the understanding of how technology is reshaping and have their user experience that can be embedded in the way that we work. It is also important for young people, as I mentioned right on the top, to get that exposure to newer industry, newer trends, and understand whether there is real disruption or if this is something 5-10 years in the future, so you could kind of plan, right? Not everything you learn in university is current. A lot of it is something that was prepared 5 years ago. So by working in startups, working in internship, it gives you an idea of what is happening in real time and what may also happen in the future, because startups are building things that are innovative and are likely to be more large scale in the coming years. Looking forward to engaging further. And if anybody wants to talk to us and want to engage with us, we're happy to provide more feedback on YFS and why the value that Billy, Caspian, and others have all been bringing in. Look forward to engaging further. Thank you.
Hi, this is Karen from Futurist Lab, and it's an honor to be invited to be one of the mentors. The internship program is actually quite different than what I've experienced before, because usually for internship is for university students, but then this one is actually for younger talents. It's actually for high school students. So that's actually quite impressive when Teresa told me about this program, because Futurist Lab also believes in the future of work, and we actually believe the new generation is gonna take up polygamous career. They are not only gonna be having one title or only one job, but maybe they will have a portfolio of different kinds of career that they want to choose based on their passion and also expertise. When we first worked with this internship program, we actually promoting different kinds of Web3 and NFT workshops. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Maybe we can have one student to help out in that area. So Yanis has taken up a role of marketing. So she actually helped us to brainstorm some social media angle and also a marketing campaign. We asked her to do some research about how Gen Z feel the space of Web3 and also NFT and crypto. Really good surprise to me, because Yanis is more mature than her age. She's very detailed, oriented, and also she's been putting a lot of work to do the research. And even our internship was only like 2 weeks. She's also bought 2 books about blockchain and cryptocurrency. It's a joy to see Yanis being able to be exposed to the real world for her study, not only as like exploring what kind of subject she may take up in her senior form or maybe in uni, but also she will be able to get the first taste of marketplace. During her internship, she gets to understand what marketing is and how to do something like a social media analytics, and also how to come up with different kinds of marketing campaigns. She has the fundamental knowledge about it. So this is quite interesting to work with Yanis and also Teresa with this program. Even after this program, it actually solidifies the beliefs that we have for the future talents. The program really aligns with what we believe. Maybe the academic qualification is still important in this stage. When the technology comes in the future, maybe in the next 5 years and 10 years, what the students have been doing on the side with their passion project would be even more important than their qualifications. But as employers, I guess we also look at what they can build and what their passion is. I think it will be more and more important for us to give early access to young talents to expose to even more future career aspirations or opportunities. In the future, there will be one thing called employment, and talents can choose whether they want to go into that field or take that job. It's always like first education and then employment. Even when we look at candidate CV now, we are not only looking at the work experience and education, but we want to see whether they've done some side project. Quite important for us to give even like a project-based experience for high school students or university students to get the first taste of the marketplace and understand how they can contribute to companies and also how to make use of their talents. Working with Yanis is quite a fun experience because Yanis know that she want to learn more things, and then she's quite open-minded to pick up new knowledge about a new space, new industry, and even like a new field, say marketing, that she's never touched before. So I asked her to do some research in the space to understand how Gen Z view Web3, NFT. So she even like did a survey to ask her peers. She also got some hands-on experience with social media and also tracked the analytics behind the scene. And then those are the areas that you can look for when you are doing marketing or even like tracking your performance. So it's quite interesting for her to do that kind of project from scratch, from the research. I believe that it's not only for them to have a fake idea about what marketing is. If they get a chance to get some hands-on experience, like doing a side project with a company, then they would have the first-hand experience to know, so actually marketing looks like this. So Web3 looks like this. Would that be an area that I'm interested in? I think that would be even more important for high school students to have that kind of exposure. If they are able to try it out before choosing like a 4-year degree, then that would be quite helpful. If you're an employer, I would encourage you to just give it a try and then give out some projects, maybe like a project task that you would love to give them an experience to try, and even their ability might surprise you because they are in the market and then they understand what Gen Z is thinking. They will be also able to exchange some insights with you, like how to engage with them and then how they view certain like a new technology or even like a new space, and maybe their angle about the latest market trend in Gen Z, where their attention is how they think, how they behave, and even their creativity and sense of like achievement and also their work ability would be able to surprise you.
Hello everyone, this is Lena Wong. I'm the founder of Hong Kong Momtrepreneur. We are a new NGO that support mothers through entrepreneurships. We have programs that educate marginalized mothers about entrepreneurship so that they can find their purpose and talents in order to be a good role model for their own children. We participate in this project through Young Funded Schools to have virtual internship because we really want to see from the younger generation's perspectives about gender equality. We are in particular impressed to have young men helping us because we also get the benefits of having that extra or a different point of view from a male counterparts. And our experience being a hosting company has been interesting to see how well organized Young Funded School has been in terms of helping us to shape the scope of work that will be suitable for secondary school students, as well as having the staff, Teresa, to help us throughout. What surprised us the most is the initiative that ISET has. He wasn't that convinced at the very beginning about the importance of gender equality. He was still willing to take up this internship and be able to have the courage to do the research, desktop research on issues related to gender, as well as having to put together a survey. The focus on the project, discussing with us, we want to investigate and get curious to know whether or not it is true that in Hong Kong, kindergarten and primary school don't have enough male teachers, whether or not that would have any influence on the individual. Isaac decided to start a survey and collect data to find out if that's the case. Isaac still managed to do some data analysis and be able to draw some conclusion from his research. He didn't see himself being able to contribute that much, let's put it this way, in this internship, which we disagree, to do a survey and to do data collections and analysis that we believe he already did a great job given the time constraint. And it was certainly a good experience, I hope, for him to know what it is like to work in reality. For us, it's been a great experience because we could also see from that generations and from male counterparts on how he sees the issues, and also to learn more about how the Gen Z think and what they like. And going forward, this will be something that we are also interested to participate, so that we can see how other young people would be interested in the issues related to gender equality. So thank you again, Young Founder School, for having us, and we look forward to the next internship that we can have with you. Thank you.
Under the March Virtual Internship Program, the students have worked with me on 2 projects. One of them is to research and suggest new social media marketing strategies that can attract new young audiences. The other is to research and suggest new elements which appeal to the younger generations that can be incorporated in our future projects. The reason why I want to contribute in this program is because I believe students are our future. I must say I have been very impressed by the 2 students in this program. They were a bit shy at the beginning. However, they have shown a very high level of commitment throughout the program. And also, at the end, they have been able to present their ideas and suggestions in a very organized way. My experience being the host company is very good because the program manager is very organized, helpful, and coordinated. I wish they had this program for me when I was in my high school. This is definitely a very good program, which gives the students an opportunity to experience what real-life work is. I would definitely like to work on such a meaningful program again, and also recommend this to other companies as well.
Hi, this is Jason from Care Bear. We are a social enterprise that provides gamified experience for youth to help alleviate symptoms of depression. We are very lucky to have Cherry on board for 2 weeks for a role of an UI/UX designer. To ensure an enjoyable experience for the users in using the app, initially we want feedback from the youth in terms of their experience to actually using the app. And it is perfect to have an intern on board that is also our target audience to help provide insights in the user perspective while helping out to provide feedback of some of the features on the app that's not too user-friendly, and then offer her unique insights for improvement and to provide her rationale of her design. My experience has been quite smooth and flexible, as many of the meetings with the student are self-initiated with the support of YFS. Initially, we thought Cherry is a relatively shy student. We tried to give her a lot of autonomy, but we thought maybe the task is still a bit too complex for her. But we are wrong, as she was quite reserved in introducing herself at first. But after a few meetings, she started to open up and began to be more proactive in asking questions. We did not expect that, and she has been able to make corrective actions and doing research on her own. She doesn't have much knowledge about UI/UX design, but in the final presentation, she has been able to clearly articulate the idea of a good design practice and provide the feedback on the user journey. And some of the points she initiated, we are actually trying to implement it in the app. And her feedback definitely offered a fresh perspective For our references in the entire product design cycle, Cherry has been very polite throughout the internship program, despite being a bit holding back in the first meeting. I think maybe young people might need more time to warm up, but in general, we have had a great experience with Cherry. And this is also the first time we have a secondary school student as an intern to on board. And we think this is a great opportunity for the young people and also for the whole company to have a unique perspective from the youth. So if you are building products that require input from youth or you are working with technology, I think this is a good opportunity for you to have feedback from youth. I think it's very important for young people to have early work experience during their study, because we have all been through the process to figuring out what we are really suitable at doing, and young people especially need more time to get to know themselves. And this internship program definitely offered the opportunity as a self-exploration, and we believe this could surely give a lot of inspiration to the young people. And we definitely recommend the program, and thanks YFS for all the arrangements, and we look forward to the new batch of interns.
Club at JC is a youth development project created and funded by the Hong Kong Jockey Club Charities Trust. We believe that it's important to support young people to find their strength and to develop their interests, to help them understand the world of work so that they can feel empowered and inspired to pursue a dream job and to have a fulfilling life after leaving schools. The mission and vision of YFS and BSC is to nurture future talents and to support young people to get them to get a taste of the workplace. It is very much aligned with our mission and vision as well for Club at JC. So it's been a joy collaborating with them to organize over 150 internship projects for secondary school students this year. I think it's critical for young people to get a chance to gain first-hand working experience. I believe that internship in particular allow them to immerse into a work situation, a project, and be able to interact with employers. Soft skills like collaboration, communications, and problem solving can be developed through this internship. And perhaps more importantly, to get them excited about the workplace in general and giving them career aspiration. Everyone would have different career paths, and I think if we look back at ours, perhaps we would very much agree and appreciate if there were more workplace learning opportunities available when we were younger. There are skills that we wish we had learned before we start a real job, or there is this amazing mentor that we wish we had met earlier. So when we are now in the position to offer that opportunity to young people, I think it's a no-brainer to say yes and to support. And from a talent development point of view, I think hosting interns is a great way to get to know and interact with young people who will be potential employees in the future. So I've personally participated as a host company to work with a student in one of my charities projects. I'm very pleased with my intern's attitude and performance. He came prepared and is ready to share his views and to contribute. He was able to complete his assignments, although at the end of the reflection session, he did say that he decided that this field was not for him. In fact, I was very happy for him to find that out. I think internship and workplace learning in general should not be a box-ticking exercise. Sometimes it's not about finding the perfect fit, but to find what does not fit. I think in this process, it helps refine goals to set visions for the career directions that is most suitable for oneself. And that's the beauty of meaningful workplace learning.
All right, well, that was just awesome. Thank you so much again to all the reps from our host companies for sharing that. Thanks for Shirley from Jockey Club for giving a little bit more insight as well into the Clap at JC program and some of the partnership with BSD and the Young Founders School. In that last segment, we heard some of the first-hand experience from our companies and how they've seen the student learning experience during the internship programs. And, you know, I love that repeated recognition of these real interactions that the students are having in the real world. You know, the fact that the students are really getting hands-on with these potential, these future opportunities for themselves. You know, just like I think Karen referred to, that you know, our students are diving into advanced contextual areas like user centricity. I think Karen and Lena both mentioned, you know, students looking at data, extracting insight and understanding how that relates back to a business, maybe communicating that with people in the team. You know, these are not basic things, these are advanced concepts. And, you know, when a student can go into a real environment and tackle that kind of a weighty experience, it's going to give them a huge amount of confidence in themselves. You know, Henry mentioned about that he wishes that this kind of an experience existed when he was at school. And I would say, you know, I wish that as well. And, you know, but now we've created this opportunity, we've created that. And the next stage really is to continue to grow and to grow the access to this opportunity for as many students as possible. So if you're listening to this mid-season update and you're like, hey, I'd like my organization to be involved in that, then drop us a line, reach out to us. You know, we're interested to partner with as many companies and as many countries as possible. And just finally, you know, if you're watching this pre-recorded and or you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube, connect with us on LinkedIn. Just stay up to date with everything that we're doing at BSD Education, Young Founders School. And yeah, just to wrap up, thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. Thank you again to our host companies. Thank you to all of our students for all of their incredible efforts. And yeah, we'll look forward to catching up again, probably at the end of the summer, once the rest of our students have been through their internship experiences for our kind of call it year wrap up before we get into the next school year in quarter 3. So thanks again for everyone for joining us. Bye-bye.